Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Crimson Pharaoh, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about our one and only Sigret. Basically, the most important unit to have in the game, at least in the early game. Even in the end game, you can use her as a one-shotter for Wyvern 13, but definitely a phenomenal unit. And today I'm going to be talking about how I made my Sigret. I took her to the next level, basically. So, you figure when you start the game, you're going to be using something that is a free set, and basically you've got two options. You've got the speed set and you've got the attack set, and because Sigret's a damage dealer, you want to put her on the attack set. So I'll show you guys what I had before. So attack, I had this one and this one and this one, and should have this one, probably had that one on. I had a different boot, though. I had a... Or did I... No, I didn't have that one. I had a hit set for speed. So I had this one on. It's got attack and effectiveness. So, this is what I was running before. You can see the total stats here. I always look at these numbers and get myself, like, screwed up about what I'm actually looking at. But whatever. Basically, these were the stats before, and these are the stats now, currently. So I had 183 speed, definitely wanted to get that 15 speed higher, and I literally did exactly, or 14 speed, but, okay, one off. I got 14 extra speed, like 196, I think. I don't know if 195 is high enough. I think it has to be 196 to 204. Is where you want your attackers, or at least your debuffers. I think that's where the debuffers are supposed to go. Maybe attackers can sit at 180. Really, they should be faster, though. In the Wyvern, you aren't going to have the damage output early game anyway, so the faster you're going, the more damage you're getting off over time. Like, you might be hitting for 19,000 instead of 22,000, but it's going to take you, like, 7 hits to make up that damage. And if you're running something like Sigret, you're getting all those debuffs anyway. You're getting bleeds. And that second skill either does unhealable or breaks attack. I'm not sure. I think it's unhealable. You're just turn cycling faster. So, yeah, definitely go for more turns instead of, even if it's a little less damage. But luckily I was able to get a bunch of crit damage. Like, 267 is actually quite hittable. I mean, literally, it's easy to hit because you start out with equipment that has it on it. I mean, this is crit damage as well. You've got whatever rings you pick up. This was pretty lucky, though. So maybe 250 is pretty easy to hit. Yeah, 250 should be really easy to hit early game with the free gear that they give you. And I can't remember what the crit set was. The crit set might have had even more crit damage on it than this. So yeah, keeping that in mind. Now, with this, I had more attack, but this is a 45% attack increase, which is it's a massive increase in stats. Having sets like these, like health and defense sets, are looked down upon because they don't have these other sets. Like, speed is so important, and you need effectiveness and crit chance higher. But getting just flat out stats like this, like, it's a ton of attack. So it's hard to make that up. You really can't, because I actually needed more effectiveness, and I ended up with 55. So I think I'm 10 low. I think you need 65. But she does a ton of hits. She's got exclusive equipment on as well. She's got Cradle of Life, that artifact, on, so she's going to be doing debuffs basically no matter what she does. And 55 is pretty decent anyway. Like, 65, getting at 65 means you have the maximum chance of landing the debuff. Being at 55, you have a 10% lower chance, which is what is it? That puts you at 25. It's not exactly 25%. That's not how that works, but 25% chance to miss. But yeah, I mean, if you can just get close, at least you're pretty well off. And for not hitting the effectiveness cap, which I could have hit 65, I instead went for a bunch more crit damage because I was losing the attack, and the speed as well. Like, it's so hard to get this. And she's on 2 pieces of event equipment. These are both reforged pieces. I mean, this is a ton of attack. the effectiveness you don't need the crit chance, but I don't have another piece of equipment where even if you took the crit chance out and it was just non-existent, I can't hit these rolls with I'd have to do 10,000 runs of Wyvern to find a boot like this, whereas with the events you can just get them. This same thing. This was the newest one, and after reforging, it hit a perfect attack roll. It became a perfect effectiveness roll. It became perfect speed, and the crit rate is also just high. It actually went over. So this is this would be 1 roll into attack and 3 perfect rolls into crit chance plus perfect roll into speed, and then plus 1% if this was like 85 gear. Like technically you could hit this at 85 minus 1 crit rate and then roll over, but this is still really good. So yeah, when you're going through all this stuff, like these are the hardest ones. The sword, helmet, chest, like these are, or I guess it's weapon, helm, and then chest technically, but right, chest, armor, yeah, armor. So yeah, those are the hardest ones to get because you need to hit the substats right. This stuff is way less malleable. Like you have to have speed. You flat out have to have speed. There's no other option. Even on the speed set now, I have to have speed. There's no possible way to hit the speed that you need without running speed. Like 197 speed on another piece of, like a different set is possible after you've done thousands of runs of dungeons. Like it's not going to happen early game with anything other than speed. So you have to run the speed set if you need speed this high, even if it's a damage dealer, it doesn't matter. And you remember, you want the speed, you want as much speed as possible to turn cycle faster and get more debuffs off. And then you need the hit set as well, because you need this to be attack, you need to do damage, so you have to have the hit set to make up for this not being effectiveness. So yeah, it would be awesome if I could roll this up as well. I'll take a look at that in a second. Same with this, but I don't have a whole lot of gold. I think that might be the issue. I'm super low on gold, so yeah. Anyway, this is what I was running before. Things you need to look at is more speed, more effectiveness, and more crit damage, because the attack you're just not going to make up. I mean, you need to look for as much attack as possible. Like I've got 30 here. I've got 21 here. I've got 7 here, so 28, 30. I have 58%. I have 58% attack and substats, and then this here, so 101%. 101% attack in overall in this whole set without the attack set on it. I'm still losing 457. So that's actually how much this does. This is a huge stat increase. But yeah, I'm happier to have the speed. The crit damage is disgusting. I mean, 300% crit damage is really good. And then the effectiveness is high enough. And these stats I'd like to have higher. I'd like to have this health back. Over 10,000 health is great, but whatever. Having 3,000 attack and higher is also really solid. Like this is really solid for not having an attack set on. So I'm happy with that. So I need to see about upgrading this. Yeah, so I just don't have enough to bring it to plus whatever, blah blah, plus something. I'll just do one anyway. I might as well just bring it up, get a little extra attack there. So I guess technically now I have 105% attack on. So I'll toss this into the hunt now, and we will see how she does. And like, just compare it to your Sigret for your Wyvern team. If you want to follow along, like you could run it at the same time and see like damage numbers. Like if you're running the attack side, you're probably doing more damage. Maybe not. I mean, I got a ton of crit damage in there, which was pretty nice. But that's one of the most important things when you're looking at Sigret, is that you're going to hit the crit rate no matter what you do. The crit rate is, you only need 35%. Like, it's going to be hard to not hit 35% on Sigret. So you're going to hit that. But then you need crit damage and attack percentage. Well, I guess you should say I should say speed. You need speed first. Speed is the most important stat on Sigret. You need to hit 195 speed or higher, preferably 196 to 204, I think, is the speed range you want. But yeah, and then you need crit damage and attack percent. Crit damage just scales better. I don't know what the comparison would be. 1% crit damage to X amount of attack. I don't know where you find balance in that number. But crit damage is typically known for being better on single target damage dealers, and attack percentage is typically better on AoE damage dealers. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I don't know how to test it. I don't know how to do the math for it. So if you guys understand that, if you're still watching and you understand why that is, I'd love to know if you guys could explain it. But that's just what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. Either way, you want damage output. So you need crit speed, and then crit damage, and then attack percentage, and then after that comes your effectiveness, and then past that it's just tanky stats. So if you can hit 196 or higher speed, great. If you can hit as much crit damage and attack percentage as possible, great. Try to hit at least 55% effectiveness like I did. Try to hit 65%, because then your debuffs should land the maximum number of times that they can. But it's hard to do that and get a bunch of damage out of her, because you need her to do damage too. She's a damage dealing unit, and because I've got Clarissa in the team, it works fine. Depending on the fourth unit you run, if you don't have Clarissa. If you have Misty Chain, I would definitely run Sigret damage. If you have Alexa, you borderline have to run Alexa as your damage dealer, and Sigret needs the effectiveness flat out at that point, because you need the debuffs very, very badly. And with Clarissa and Sigret on the team, you're putting on a ton of bleeds. Like, we've got 4 right now. 4 bleeds. You got a defense break with Furious and Clarissa, so you're going to do the amount of bleeds, and you're going to get the decreased defense. Then I got Song of Stars, so it's a target. I've got Cradle of Life, so that's glancing, attack break, and poison, as well as another chance for a bleed. She's got the exclusive equipment, that's more bleeds. Clarissa has a piece of equipment that does an extra bleed, I think, too. Like, so if you can get all that stuff together, you're good. But for Sigret specifically, if you just have Alexa as the other unit, Sigret has to be 196, I think, speed or faster, and she needs to have the effectiveness that you need, or you're going to fail runs, because without Clarissa here to kind of help out, it's a little hard. Even with Sigret on the team, things are still a little shaky as you're just getting into Wyvern. But definitely a lot more doable than without her. So that's a run there. The damage, I think she might actually be doing more damage. Yeah, I think she's actually doing more damage now than she was before with the attack set on. So I lost 457 there, but I gained 33% crit damage. So, or it's similar. It might be more. She might be doing more damage, so that'd be kind of cool. I don't want to switch back and check, because that's a ton of gold to do that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Sigret's a beast, and I'll see you guys in the next video.